Hey everybody, let me move some of these. You'll be very happy to know this is going to be part one of our palettes. What we're going to go through first is every palette that was used from wheel 1, the original video of the wheel, down to wheel 34. Back when I was just doing it randomly. We will end with, I'll probably do the palettes for the wheel 2024 and then continue on into the other video or the other palettes that haven't been chosen. But I am going to be doing a pretty big declutter this time around. So I've got a FabFitFun box. I've got two of them actually. This one back here has palettes that will be the next video, unless I get through this quicker than I think I am. It is about 12:30 in the morning on Sunday. We're going to start with the very first palette the wheel ever chose, and that is this this is the Cella palette, and it's just Cella palette, natural palette. This is going to be decluttered. I will be sanitizing it and putting it up on Mercari or Poshmark. I will post on my community tab where I'm going to be posting these. They're going to be really cheap unless you message me privately. I mean, I still have to sanitize them, take pictures and everything, and I'm not doing that right now. So if you see a palette that I've said I'm decluttering, send me a message on IG or on Facebook. Let me know you're interested in it. If you come to me privately, it's probably going to be $5 plus shipping. Or it might just be shipping. Depends. I mean, if you get a bunch of them, then it would probably be $5 each, and I might pay for shipping. We'll work something out. But this is the first one. It's going to be a declutter. And okay, so I have gone through and sorted everything. So it's in order. So this box, I'm going to put things I want to sell or get rid of. And then I guess I'll have a pile that I'm going to keep. The pile that I'm going to keep, I'm actually going to start over the wheel. Not start it over, but I'm going to add things that I'm keeping back to the wheel because I'm moving all of my palettes over to a shelving unit that I just built. It's hot pink. It's gorgeous. I'll show you guys when I have it all set up. So I'll move all of the palettes over there, and starting right now it is it's the last week of February. I'm not sure what the date is today. I think it's the 25th of February, and I have pulled week 9 for the wheel starting of 2024. So starting with week 10, I will have all the palettes into the new wheel app that I'm going to use, and we will start out fresh with those. I will not put the 9 palettes that we've used this year in that spinny wheel. So we will start over. So I'm going to continue showing you the palettes. I'm going to tell you the ones that I'm getting rid of and the ones that are going to go back onto the wheel. So we've got the Shayna B Miami. This was the original wheel, week 2. And those are the shades. I am parting with this as well because I have these shades in many other palettes. We have the Morphe 35V. And again, right now I'm just going in order of how the wheel originally was. I think I have 2 or 3 of these big Morphe palettes. I'm going to keep this one. It has a lot of beautiful shades. I'm going to keep it. So this will go into the wheel, the new wheel. I'm not going to swatch anything, but I will open each of them and show you what it looks like. I know that I'm not getting rid of any of my Jeffree Star palettes. Those will remain in my collection even after they've expired. This one I also know I'm not getting rid of because I don't think Cara Beauty makes these palettes anymore. But this is the Orange Pop palette. I did use this palette with, and did a High Time series with Melissa from, I believe her channel is now Makeup and Mayhem with Melissa. So this is getting kept. Then we have Boxycharm palette. You all remember this palette. I am keeping it. Oh, maybe I'm going to have to declutter it. I'm going to try to create a look. Just, I don't know. The Swipe Up shade is the one that it's still performing, so I am keeping this palette. The Swipe Up shade is right there. Love that shade. So I will keep this palette. I said I wasn't swatching anything, and then I go swatch. Then I have the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. I'm also keeping this one. Has a little brush and it's a mirror and a brush. I will be keeping this one as well. Next one we have is the Tartiest Pro palette. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this one too. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one too. There it is. Smells like, I don't know why their stuff smells like chocolate. And it does have a little thing on it telling you how you should create your look, but I'm tossing that because I don't ever follow it. Next, we have Purple Haze from Cara Beauty. This is also getting kept because, again, she didn't make these palettes anymore, I don't believe. Then we have Hank and Henry in Living Color. This is going to go bye-bye. I don't like this palette. I've never liked this palette. This palette annoys me, the fact that it's so thick and the pans are cattywampus. I don't like it. So it's going to go bye-bye. It can go to one of you lucky people. It can go up on Mercari. I don't care where it goes. Then we have the Huda Beauty. This one is the Mauve Obsessions. And I am keeping. Pop Brown Sugar. I am keeping. This one my friend Jennifer gave me. So if I were to get rid of it, I would give it back to her. But I'm not. Winky Lux. I got this from Barbara's Beauty Bag. But I have those shades in so many other palettes. I'm going to declutter. Ace Beaute. This one is Vintage Dawn. I have multiple Ace Beaute palettes, but they're like all different kinds. Shades. This is the Vintage Dawn. I don't know if I said that or not. And I'm going to declutter. And we have the Profusion Pro Pigment palette. She big. I think I'm going to try this one out again. So I will be keeping this one. We have Too Faced Palm Springs Dream. I will be keeping this one as well. This one doesn't smell like anything. And we have Studio Makeup is the next one. Having a leaning tower over here. I'm going to declutter. Again, it's a bunch of nude shades, and I have this already. And several other palettes. Then I have Brow Bar by Rima. You can see I'm watching the beautiful Renee. This one has a brush in it as well. I'm going to put this aside as a maybe. I'm not sure. Mostly for that green shade. I'm going to put this over in the center as a maybe, and then we'll visit it again before I restart the wheel. Then I have the Wonder Beauty Seascape. And this is getting decluttered. This one is also going to be decluttered. It is Laura Sanchez Moods palette. Nothing against the palette. Well, actually everything against the palette. It's just not a cohesive look. I don't care for it. You might, and if you do, it's yours. And we have the Morphe 350 palette. And by the way, I've not been watching my list over there. So after Vintage Dawn, which I got rid of, after Vintage Dawn was Blue Blood, which I'm keeping, Blood Sugar, which I'm keeping. Then it went to the Pro Pigment palette from Profusion. Should probably keep an eye on that. Wonder Beauty, Moods. Okay, 350. Morphe 350 palette. See, and this is just nudes, so I'm keeping this one as well. I had to readjust my leaning tower over here. Then after the 350, we have the Revolution Brave Spirit. And this is Broken. And the shades didn't really perform. So this is actually going to be a throwaway. This is not going to be a declutter, it'll be a toss. But to keep track, I'm going to stick it over here. Then we have Emerald Obsessions by Huda. I am keeping. And then for those of you that remember, a few years back, probably 3 years back. Yeah, I think 3 years back. We as a community, as a beauty community, decided to do a Secret Santa. And in that Secret Santa, I selected D from D's. At the time, it was called D's Diets, or D Diets. It is now D and Doug's Retirement, I believe is the name of the channel. But she bought me this. It's a whole set of palettes from DoColor, and I love them. So I will not be getting rid of them. This one is the Mind palette. Then ColourPop, I'm not getting rid of any of my ColourPop. This is She's Got Solstice. I got this from Ulta. It was an Ulta exclusive. And there should be. And the next one is also a ColourPop Garden Variety. This one I believe I got directly. No, I think I got this one from Ulta as well. Garden Variety. Gorgeous. And then I have another Makeup Revolution palette. And I am keeping this one. This is the Rachel Lahiri. It is beautiful. Doing pretty good. We're only 17 minutes in. We're almost down to the final in my 31st 34. The next we have the Ace Beaute Scarlet Dusk. I know there's one of them that I really wanted to keep. I knew it wasn't the one that I just got rid of. This is the one. Keeping this. Scarlet Dusk. It is the Estate. I'm going to get rid of this though. It's the Bailey Sarian palette from Estate Cosmetics. Venice Fling. The colors are beautiful and it's Bailey Sarian, so I'm keeping it. It is the Laura Geller Urban Garden. This I think came in an Ipsy. And I mean, it's gorgeous. It worked out great, but I have those shades in several other palettes, so I don't need this little palette. Okay, and then we have Hank and Henry La Hermanas palette. I'm going to keep it. Not sure about that glitter up there, but I'm going to keep it. And I'm getting rid of this as well. I'm going to actually stick it in there. Then we have the Pur Festivals, right? Yes. Pur Festivals 2.0 palette. We're only at 19 minutes, so I think we're going to dredge on. I'm also keeping this one, mostly for that shade. I don't know why, it just speaks to me. So this is getting kept. And then we have the Bella Pierre, or Be Bella Champagne Kisses. This is the number 1. There are several of these, and I will be parting with this one. So that is all 1 through 34. So out of those, I mean, I've got a nice stack here that I'm getting rid of. So let's go on to 35 through as many as we can get through in this video. So first, or not first, 35 was the Galaxy Chic palette. I got this from Laura Jane. It's an all shimmer palette. I don't see myself using it again, so I am going to pass it along. The Pur Festivals Volume 1. I got this from Xenia, so I will be keeping this. Plus, of course, that pink shade calls to me. My leaning tower over here was leaning a little too much for my liking, so I had to fix it. Right, and then week 37 was the California Love from ColourPop, and I will be keeping her. Now, when I did these videos last year, I got rid of some palettes. So I'm just going to say them. I don't have them to show you. The week 38 or wheel 38 was the Pop Light Show palette. I decluttered that one. I believe it's probably over there in one of the bags to be mailed to one of the 3 people I have care packages for. I'm going to get rid of this box. Then we have the Violet Voss Fruit Sorbet. Actually, I'm going to get the box back. I'm not keeping this palette. I'm going to declutter this palette as well. Again, Cara Beauty is not making this. This is the last of that collection, the High Time series, and it is Girl Scout. And I know that they didn't make this palette anymore. This one was completely decluttered or decommissioned. I don't know, but I'm keeping it. Then we have Juvia's Place Coral palette. I'm keeping this one. Probably has one of the only palettes I own with a gray in it. So it'll be kept. Then we have the Dominique Cosmetics, or Dominique palette. Transition palette is what it's called. I will be keeping this one. Oh, this also has a gray in it. Looks like it's all mattes. Which, I don't think I have very many all matte palettes. I have some all shimmer palettes, but no all matte palettes. So I will be keeping this one. Next we have the, yes, this is 44. Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. Got this in a Ipsy. I will be keeping her. And then back to Cara Beauty. We have the Beyond the Sky. Nope. Never Ending Paradise. And this is 45. I will be keeping it. Is one that I'm giving to Tish from Trouble with Tish. It is the Deck of Scarlet palette that is in a package waiting to be mailed to her. Although she told me not to mail it, I may end up mailing it anyway. All right, grab out a couple more palettes here. So that was week 47. This is week 40. No, this is week 47. That one was week 46. And this is the Juvia's Place Nubian palette. And it is a nude palette, and I am keeping. Next is week 48, and it is the Pinks palette from Juvia's Place. I got this from my Busy Beauty box. I will be keeping. Then for number 49, we had Cara Beauty again. This one is Beyond the Sky. Beautiful. Keeping. A lot of these palettes from even back from the very first wheel to the 34th wheel. Well, not the very first one, because the very first one I'm decluttering. But anyway, those palettes back then, I'm kind of excited to get into again, because I know more about ColourPop Going Coconuts. I did get this from my friend Jennifer as well. I will be keeping it. Then for 51, we have the Violet Voss Sakura palette. I'm keeping it. I think you know why. Then we have another Ace Beaute palette. This is Oceanic. I think I'll keep this one, try it out, and it might be a declutter for next year, but for this year I'm going to keep it. It was the Glamlite Cake palette. This will be kept as well. There she is in all her glory. This is making me nervous. All right, then we have House Laboratories palette for 53. I think I'm decluttering this one. Yes. I'm decluttering this one. 55, we have another Morphe palette. This is a smaller one. This is the 9J. Just a Crush is what it says. Keeping. I just had to open it. Just keeping. I need to look at it. So the next one is 56, and this is Give Them Lala Grown Woman palette. Yeah, I'm decluttering. It's just a nude, neutral palette, and I have enough in what I'm keeping, so this will be decluttered. Plus, I don't remember in liking the way it performed. Right, and now we have another DoColor. This one is Time, and I am keeping. And we have another Huda Beauty Obsessions palette. This is the Coral Obsessions. This one came with a broken shade there, but I just repressed it from Ipsy. I'm so afraid to even touch the desk. More out. I'm keeping more than I'm decluttering. So for number 58, we had the Cara Beauty Escape the Ordinary palette. Again, I'm keeping. I won't use that glitter shade, or that one probably, but I am keeping the palette. Then for number 60, we had Mini Jawbreaker. This I purchased from the beautiful Connor Kristen, my favorite Neighborhood Unspoiling and Unboxing Gal. It is the mini Jawbreaker. This is one of the big one of these was one of the ones I was hoping to get in my mystery treats. But it's all good. Then we have Morphe and Manny MUA palette. I'm going to think on this one as well. So I'm going to put it with my other one that I'm thinking on. Then we have another Morphe palette. This is 9S. So Chill. And I'm going to keep this one as well. Then for 63 was a Seraphine Botanicals eyeshadow palette that I decluttered last year. And then for 64, we have the Ciate London Velvet palette. I believe I purchased this from Simply Steph. Or no, I got this one. But it's not something that I will gravitate to, so I'm going to declutter this as well. We have Look 65 was a Lovecraft Beauty eyeshadow palette that I have over there in a bag to go to one of my friends. And then 66 is this palette. It is the Cali V. Bailey palette. And I have all of these shades in other eyeshadow palettes, so this will be decluttered. I got this from TJ Maxx. It was 10 bucks. I'm glad to pass it along to someone. And then 67 was the Oakland Liquid Metal palette, which I also have over there in a container to give away. Just moving on along. 68 is the Ciate London Editor's palette. This one I will keep and try again. Okay. Then for 69, we had the Conspiracy palette from Jeffree Star. You know this ain't going anywhere, but I'm still going to show you. This is the Shane Dawson collab. Oof. And this will be getting kept. 70 was the Beauty Creations Murillo palette. Just color storing these shades, so I'll keep this one as well. The next one I know that I'm going to get rid of it is the Prolux Vacay palette. I just don't see myself getting use out of this. I will pick that up and put it back on there. So this will be decluttered as well. Okay, so we're actually going to be able to get through 1 through 80 in one video. So let's finish these off. We only have a few more left. Next is the Hip Dot Green palette. It's called C Note, but you know, in the wheel I always had it as green. I'm going to check on something. So this is I don't know right now. Then we have the Persephone Ditto palette. Declutter, because I probably won't gravitate towards those shades. And I have my Norvina ABH. This is volume 1. In the wheel it just says purple. This will be kept. I got these from Boxycharm. when there was the ABH takeover. I got one in my box, and then I purchased the other one. So I also have the orange palette. I don't know what volume that is. So this is getting kept, but I don't want to knock that over. Then we have the Wahala 2 palette from Juvia's Place. This was $75. And I think I'm going to declutter this. We have Hip Dot Pink or Zion. I am keeping. 77. We had this teeny tiny little Bella Pierre palette. It's only natural. This is getting decluttered. 78 was the Norvina Orange palette. This is actually volume 3. So I guess I have 1 in 3. And there are the beautiful shades. 9, we had the Hank and Henry Berries palette, and I am keeping. And then 80 was the Pisces palette from Cara Beauty, and I am keeping. So there is 1 through 80. One moment. The reason I was holding this one out is so that I could look at this one again. And they aren't really that similar, so I'm going to keep them both. So I'm keeping both the Oceanic palette and the Zion palette, or C-Note palette from Hip Dot. 13, 14, 15. So I'm keeping 51 palettes out of the 80. I'm going to pass on these 2 as well. So that is going to be it for this video, keeping 59 palettes. I'm going to start my wheel series over again. Then I will film starting with week 1 of 2024 through and just keep going after week 9. Obviously, you're going to see this well after all of those videos are going up anyway. So after week 9, I'm just going to start grabbing. Just grabbing. So I don't know if I'm going to grab the next palette week for week 10 or not. I'm just going to start grabbing. So come back and watch the next video. I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be a 3-part series. So here's part 1. Please, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you've not already. Ring that notification bell so you're notified of each and every upload. And leave me a sweet, sweet comment down below. I greatly appreciate it, just like I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. As always, guys, remember, be kind to one another. You know the rest. Bye.